Hello everyone, welcome to my lore playthrough for Elden Ring, and for this playthrough I'm going to be picking the prisoner. No particular reason besides that I like the prisoner. If we're talking mages, the astrologer would be the optimal class, so if you want to go for that, I would go for it. If you guys enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get future updates. So, of course, as the name entails, we're going to be focusing on lore, specifically highlighting character dialogue and item descriptions. But in this first part, I'm going to be doing some pickups of weapons and spells to kind of give us a nice little power boost in the early game.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on her side. We found her here after all. One of her kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
So I'm going to try and stay quiet when there's character dialogue and cutscenes, aside from this first one, of course. Fighting the Soldier of Godric here just for fun. It's not entirely necessary, but let's just say for lore reasons that the Tarnished did fight the Soldier of Godric here in the cave. And he got taken out quickly by just a few magic blades. Alright, so we're coming up to our first NPC here, White Mask Vare.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the Round Table Hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity. Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me, Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light that gives life to you, Tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, the path that a Tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you, Tarnished, to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave. Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly, to Castle Stormvale, over on the cliff, the home of the decrepit demigod, Godric the Grafted. It's time you set off, I should think. To Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where grace would guide you if you seek the Elden Ring.
Okay, so we just got done talking to White Mask Vare. We're going to be finishing his quest later on, or at least progressing it. Just gonna bask in the beauty that is the overworld of Elden Ring, Limgrave, starting area. Sometimes it's nice to just absorb the environment. And there is Caelid, our first merchant.
You're tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Caelid, purveyor of fine goods.
Of course, most important thing you're going to want to pick up here is the crafting kit. And if you have the runes for it, grab all the cookbooks and whatnot from him. I'd say the other secondary item you're going to want is the torch. It's pretty useful pretty much throughout the entire game. And there's different torches you can pick up later on, but for now, this one is good enough. So we are coming up to our first cave here, which is the Groveside Cave. And there's a nice little talisman to pick up in this cave, so that's why we're going in here. It'll actually be pretty helpful against fire damage. Coming up to another boss here, we've got the Beast Man of the Fair Missoula. Now, if you're fighting him like I did at base level, then the best thing you can do is just kind of go for this range sort of battle that I've been going for. I kind of fluked myself here and didn't die off that last hit. We're kind of just plugging away at him here. Kind of just casting our spells and rolling backwards. That's pretty much the sorcerer away, honestly. And there you have it, the Flame Drake Talisman. It's going to give us some good fire damage negation. That's going to be pretty relevant in the next few areas we're going to be fighting. And then there it is, our third site of grace, where we will prompt the cutscene with Melina.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. I offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the Tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree. Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring. Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect. Shall I turn your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
Alright, now that we have Torrent and we've spoken to Melina for the second time, we're going to go ahead and just make some item pickups. This first one here is pretty skippable. The Lord Sword's Great Sword is not really that much of a key item, but can be used. I would say recommended temporarily. Don't really waste your smithing stones on it. Next up we have a pretty minor pickup here, Storm Stomp. It's not a bad ability. It's okay. It's an okay Ash of War. The more important thing is the Whetstone Knife. You're going to need that for granting affinities to your weapons. Alright, so we're just marking our map here with some points of interest. So right over here is where the Hunter Yura will be. We definitely want to start the quest line with him. So here we are at the Waypoint Ruins. Everyone knows kind of where this place leads to. So if you go past the rats here, and I kind of recommend you don't fight them. They can get a little bit annoying, so that's why I edited it out. Yep, and there is the transporter trap chest. If you're not really ready to go to Caelid, I would advise against going for this teleporter here. So here we are in Celia Crystal Tunnel. Pick up the gravity stone chunks and get out of there. And your best bet is to just run the hell out of there. The kind of rot centipede guy he'll snipe you. So just run. It's your best bet. And as we exit the tunnel, we can see that we are now in Caelid. Right by Celia, actually, which we will be going back to later to pick up a lot of good items that are there for a sorcerer class, which is essentially what our prisoner is going to be. I'm going to make a quick detour into this area here to pick up a smithing stone number 5 just at the end of all these graphy little dudes kind of popping and locking on me here. And there it is, our Somber Smithing Stone 5. And besides that, I'm just going to get glintstone fireflies in this area. Yeah, so just kind of head back out there. And now is where we're going to pick up some pretty key and important items. Alright, so got to make sure to mark down those map fragments to pick up a little bit later. So you're going to want to go to the Street of Sage Ruins area here in the Aeonia swamp part of Caelid, because there are some very important things we need to pick up. First off, we're going to pick up the Rock Sling spell. Now this is a very, very good spell, only requires 18 intelligence to use. And with our Meteorite Staff, it actually deals some very potent damage. And I'm going to put the map location right up there on the screen so that anyone watching this can go ahead and pick it up right away. Alright, so these fellows over here are going to try and block your exit after you pick up the spell, most likely. So, I just having a bit fun here, spamming my S-Stock skill. Kind of getting past them here. It's actually not a bad skill. We're making quick work of these fools here, not a problem at all. Oh, there comes some more. Stabby stab. Going ahead and also picking up this perfumer set here, or rather traveler set, and It's not really necessary. It's not the best set, but it's kind of better than what we started with, so we're going to wear it for a little while and we'll get something better. And then more importantly here, you're going to want to just kind of avoid these rot flower dudes and grab the Meteorite Staff. And of course, here's the map location. And there's the item. I'm going to be putting the more important items up on the screen, and the lesser items will kind of just gloss over them. And you can see here I succumbed to the Scarlet Rot because I was out of flasks, and that's okay because there's a stake of America nearby. And there we are. So yeah, we got the armor on now, and we can't necessarily use the Meteorite Staff just yet, as we don't have the right stats for it just yet. We need one more intelligence, so we're almost there. We can then soon use our Rock Sling and our staff together for some nice damage. Now, the reason why I'm making sure to make this first part heavily focus on picking up these items is because they're just going to kind of really increase the quality of our Sorcerer run, give us really powerful spells to take on the early bosses with.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to determine if the Elden Ring would truly have you, if you had the mettle to endure this long and arduous path. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Round Table Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions, guided by grace.
We're going to decline the Round Table Hold for now, as we don't really need to go there just yet.
Let my hand share them with me.
And making sure to put one of our first points into intelligence so we can use the Rock Sling right away. Because even without many levels, you can actually do quite a bit of good damage with that spell. And we're just tracking along here through Caelid, just covering all the points of interest that I'd like to go to for the early game boost. You can see there I'm kind of just interacting with the map and checking out where I am. Kind of going on our path towards the Meteoric Ore Blade. I wouldn't recommend fighting these guys here like this, because normally they aggro a bit more aggressively, so I'm surprised I even managed to take them out there without an upgraded S-Stock. Yeah. Of course we have our Rock Sling. It's good night for the dog. Good night, doggy. So we're just having a little bit of fun here, messing around with the Rock Sling spell, kind of testing it out, seeing how it's working. But it's important not to get too carried away here, so we're just going to continue onward. Now, as much as I'd like to fight this rot-breathing dragon, I just don't feel like I've got the stones for it just yet. So we're gonna move on past and go straight for that church over there, which is actually the Church of Dragon Communion. Now, we're not doing the Arcane Faith build this playthrough, but there is some usefulness to being in this area. Mainly being farming the Banished Knights for their gear. I was ideally looking to get the full armor set, but it takes a little bit too much farming to do that, for me at least. Sometimes you get lucky and just drop the items. But you can see here I'm just spamming the rock sling and trying to get the best out of this guy. That was a close one. Got a little nervous there, so I took him out with a punch. And he actually drops the Banished Knight's Greatsword and Shield. Greatsword, not so important. Shield, pretty good, honestly. Not bad. Not a bad shield to pick up. Now, I actually edited this out, but I did try to farm these Banished Knights quite a lot. I think I killed them like 10 or 15 times, and actually gave myself a few levels in the process, but I didn't even seem to manage to drop the armor, so I kind of just gave up and was like, okay, let's move on. We're going to pick up a better armor set for our character in Rhea Lucaria, which is going to be the Carrion Knight set. So, nothing to worry about here. We're just going to move along. So next up on the pickup list here, we have the Caelid Waypoint Ruins, and we're going to be picking up a very nice weapon here. Now, as with all of these ruins, always look for the underground entrance and try to run past the enemies if you can. Getting past all the Rot Centipede disciples, we're going to just go straight for the chest here. And, don't mind getting hit, just run back as fast as you can. There is the Meteoric Ore Blade. And there's the map location for it as well. It's going to be a fantastic weapon for us to use. And it's kind of going to go along with our sort of meteor build right now in the early game. You know, we got the Meteor Blade and the Rock Sling spell and the Meteorite Staff. So we're looking like we're a disciple of the Alabaster Lords, or Onyx Lords, if you may. Just narrowly dodged death there. We're just going along here and discovering all the different sites of grace, picking up the Ash of War here off the Tear Scarab. And as we're going along here, of course, we're just going to pick up all the sites of grace that we can, so that later on, when we come back to actually clear Caelid, we will have all these points access to us. Coming up on the carriage here, we're going to pick up the Great Sword. Not entirely necessary for this playthrough, but hey, you never know. We might want to respec later on, and it's a good weapon to spec into a strength build too, so yeah. And if you've noticed, we kind of did like a backwards track of Caelid, where we kind of took the Celia area and then just worked our way backwards all the way to here, which is actually the site of grace you'd probably get to if you went to Caelid the normal way. Okay, so we've picked up the items I think we need to pick up in Caelid for the time being. And now we're going to just move on and go back to Limgrave to just get some character dialogues in and start some lore.
This way, Tarnished.
And there she
May
is.
I have a word?
A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk I surmise is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent. Ah, as I had hoped. I was entrusted this for thee, by Torrent's former master. 'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. From ash and return to the Erdtree, the spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past. Now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest. Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
And there you have it. That was Rena, or better known as Rani, disguising herself as Rena. It's one of the many interactions we're going to have with her in this run, and I'm looking to focus on the Rani questline for this series. So thank you for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the next one.